Outlaw Nation, and welcome to my non-spoiler review here of Thor: Love and Thunder, the much-anticipated next installment in MCU's Thor franchise from returning director Taika Waititi, whose Thor Ragnarok, in my opinion, saved and revitalized the Thor franchise, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that feeling. Love and Thunder is getting a lot of buzz from the MCU fans for two very good reasons. First, it sees the return of Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. And as you've seen from the trailers, she's been working out and she'll be yielding a reformed Mjolnir as a new Thor in the film. And second, the introduction of Gorr the God Butcher, played by former Batman actor Christian Bale, a legendary villain in the Thor comics, who is a disillusioned former believer in the gods who is now seeking to destroy all the gods regardless of their realm. When Gorr sets his sights on Thor as his next god to destroy, Thor forms a new team that includes Valkyrie, Korg, and Jane Foster to take on Gorr in a battle that will span the universe and test the strength and will of this new team in ways both serious and comedic. Now, overall, I really enjoyed Thor: Love and Thunder. Waititi directs the hell out of this one with some jaw-dropping visuals, fantastic fight scenes, well-timed comedic moments, Russell Crowe, and some deeply emotional scenes that will absolutely catch you off guard and move you. Let's get into the things that I liked. Y'all know I like to start with the acting, so we're going to start there. Chris Hemsworth, I thought, did some fantastic work here, both light and heavy with his Thor. He is so settled into playing his Thor that now you sense sort of a relaxed confidence in his portrayal, which is great to see. Oscar winner Natalie Portman is also put through the ringer in this movie, and she delivers a damn good and touching performance as Jane Foster. You didn't know that you missed her in the Thor franchise till she came back to the Thor franchise, and she comes back in spades here. And you can tell that comedy is not Jane's forte, or comedy's not her thing necessarily for Natalie Portman, and that works for the socially awkward Jane. It feels very organic in the film. And speaking of organic, the chemistry here between Jane and Thor is organic for sure. The chemistry that was missing in the first two movies is now fully here in this movie, which allows them to have some fantastic, funny, and truly tender scenes between them. Tessa Thompson also does some nice work here when she gets some screen time in the movie, expressing Valkyrie's frustrations at running things and how she yearns for more adventure and to be back in the fight again. But Tessa also gives us some well-timed peeks into Valkyrie's loneliness, which I thought brought some nice new levels to the character. Russell Crowe steals the scenes that he's in with the right amount of humor and bluster, but it's Christian Bale who is the full standout here. He brings such an electricity to his portrayal of Gorr. He instills Gorr with a pathos, a vulnerability, a deep sadness, and a wicked glee that constantly keeps you on your toes as you watch his work in this movie. He does an excellent job of making you feel Gorr's pain while also making you shudder at the steps he has taken as a disillusioned believer in the gods to soothe that pain by their deaths. I really enjoyed the story in the film as well. The basic idea of bringing a team together to confront some new villain or new antagonist, that's nothing new. But Taika and writer Jennifer Caton Robinson find new and uniquely interesting ways to make that old premise feel fresh. These characters are all in authentic states of transitions in their lives in the movie, which I won't reveal because this is a non-spoiler review. And the story takes us all around the galaxy as these characters deal with their demons and inner doubts to try to come out the other side a better version of themselves. Except for Korg, of course, who's like a rolling stone. No pun intended. Every Marvel fan is going to be blown away by the places we go to in this movie and the things we get to see leap from the comic book page onto the big screen. The script really shines, though, in the vulnerable, honest exchanges between these characters during the more quieter moments in the movie. We get to see even more depth to them than we've seen before, which is a nice touch. The script is also very funny with some genuinely hilarious moments. The scenes with the Guardians are just great. The bro back and forths between Korg and Thor are highly amusing, and the ways in which Thor being not over Jane pop up in the movie will make you laugh. Now, does every joke work? No, but enough of them do work that you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Russell Crowe's scenes in the movie almost steal the movie. Oh, and Gorr's journey will absolutely captivate you. I've already spoken of Bale's work as Gorr, but it's also the script here that gives him so much to work with as he creates his Gorr so he can deliver this multi-layered performance. The journey he goes through from desperate, dedicated believer to radical terrorist of the gods is chilling. It might feel topical as our society is dealing now more than ever with a true questioning of the people in power and if they actually care about us as a populace. And don't be surprised that, like Thanos and Killmonger before him, you might find yourself understanding and sympathizing with Gorr's point of view as the movie goes along. Taika Waititi's direction is fantastic yet again here. I loved his Thor Ragnarok. It's in my top 5 of the MCU, and depending on the day, can sneak into the top 3 of my favorite MCU films. And many MCU fans felt that Waititi's direction and unique comedic sensibilities rescued the Thor franchise from the overly serious and almost too Shakespearean approach from the first 2 films. And I agree. And that trend continues here. He brings the right mixture of comedy and seriousness to his direction while also expanding the world in ways that I am still stunned by as I record this review. The visuals from cinematographer Barry Idowin and Waititi as they present these extremely fantastical worlds is jaw-dropping, yet they make them feel real on screen. Taika gets some fantastic acting work from everyone involved, as I said before, and the pacing here works so well as we note the emotional beats in each of these characters' journey from where they start out in the movie to where they end up at the finale. Taika Waititi is an absolute visionary who never lets his visuals or the comedy overwhelm the emotional stakes in his movies. Also, his music choices here are spot on. And yes, Sweet Child of Mine is in the movie, but the needle drops when they happen had this old lover of 1980s metal pumping my fists and jumping out of my seat. If he ever does his Star Wars film, oh boy, is it going to be a challenge for Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm for how he sees a Star Wars film. And I would look forward to it for sure. Now, as for some of the things that I didn't like, these are my own personal things. I am a fan of Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie, and I don't think we get enough time with her. I would have loved to see more solo stuff with her like we got in Ragnarok, or more scenes with her and Jane that gave us an even deeper dive into her character with another woman. Valkyrie is a bit of an enigma, and certainly elements of her pain in her life are exposed here, but she also feels a little pushed aside at times, and that didn't 100% sit well with me. I also think, as I said earlier, not all of the comedy works here, and there are a couple of abrupt switches from a trying to be funny scene to a serious scene that kind of felt clumsy and awkward. I mean, I was able to look past it, but I can totally see other people having issues with that. Also, Gorr disappears for some extended stretches of the movie, which threatens to take away his power as an ever-present villain. It would have been nice to see him confront these gods in other realms and see the tactics that he uses to defeat them so we can have a better grasp of how much of a danger Gorr actually is to Thor and the other gods, rather than just seeing the aftermath of his work. As I said, these are my own personal issues here, but they are valid to me. Overall, though, I give this film 4 cowboy hats out of 5. I had an absolute blast. It's a wild and fun ride with some truly tender and honest work from the actors and a story that delivers with a very effective and compelling finale that truly shocked me. It's not what you were expecting, yet when it happens, it'll feel like the perfect next step for Thor. The visuals will knock you on your ass and stun you, while the music will rock you into this movie for sure. This is a damn good one, ladies and gentlemen. Go see it. Okay, well, that's my non-spoiler review for Thor Love and Thunder. Hope you enjoyed it. Go see it this weekend and let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. Hit a like on this video and share it on your social media with the hashtag #TheOutlawNation, and subscribe to my channel down below. Get me to 25,000 subscribers as soon as possible with your help. All right, take care of yourselves, be well, and whether you got a dad bod or a god bod, I love you. And I'll talk to you next time with another brand new review here from the Outlaw Nation.